Hi, and welcome to Lock Haven's A Senior Moment. I'm Mary Beth Truitt. I'm the marketing director at Lock Haven. So nice to have you join us today. Have you ever heard the expression handier than a pocket on a t-shirt? Well, I think that kind of describes my guest today. My guest is Robert Clark. We are at Robert's home, which is south of Marceline, Missouri. And Robert has a wonderful hobby that we would like to share with you today. So welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Robert, let's get started. When we talk about tools, actually the name of this segment, we kind of are calling it Trucks and Tools.
Right.
Let's start with tools. When we
Okay.
talk about tools, we're talking about woodworking. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Woodworking.
Okay. Well, give me a little bit of a history of how you got started in woodworking and about the history of your shop.
Well, in 2004, I walked out in my shop. At the time, it was just a basic pole barn. It was not finished on the inside like you see it today. It did have electricity, it did have a concrete floor, but it was just a shed. And I looked at it, and I just kind of looked around, and I said, I need to get this shed finished. So I hired a local barn contractor to come in and finish it. And then about 2 weeks after he finished it, I went out there and looked around, and I said, I need a hobby. I really need something to do because, number one, I don't like hanging out at bars. I just needed something to do, something
Right.
to kill time, to relieve stress. And so I got on the internet, got to looking around, found a company down at Springfield, Missouri that handled all kinds of woodworking tools. And the price of them was reasonable. So I made a trip to Springfield, looked through the selection, brought a pickup load of tools home, table saw, lathe, what else, bandsaw. Like I said, a whole pickup load of tools, brought them home, put them together, and then just started making sawdust.
So did you, because I listened to that and I think, surely you had some skills as a young person with that. I mean, how could you just choose woodworking? I think that's really interesting.
Okay, in junior high and high school, I took shop classes, which we've done some woodworking there. A lot of it was woodworking. There was some drafting involved, carpentry classes. When I got out of school, in fact, even while I was still in school, I'd help some of the local carpenters build houses, build pole barns, work on different stuff. I'd help my dad, as a kid
Right.
in the garage,
Yeah.
which we didn't have near the stuff that I've got today, but
Right.
we made do. So it's just something that, well, I, kind of thought, I've done this before. I can do it again.
Right.
You know?
So as far as your work at that time, you've always been a trucker.
Right.
So tools and trucks we're
Right,
talking
right,
about. So,
right.
so this is something you would truck during the week and come home and start.
And take my, stress I'd built up from being out on the road. As one of my neighbors said, he said he could tell when I was at home because it seemed like the louder the saw was running, so I must have been under a little stress.
Well, and and so that is one of the predominant things
Right.
that you build and that we see behind us are trucks.
Right. And this is just a few of the trucks that I built.
Right, right. Tell us about, pick a truck and start kind of.
Okay.
We'll look at them. Take a look at one here.
Okay, this one right here, it's styled after a Kenworth W9. If you remember the TV show from back in the 70s, it'd be the mid-70s, it was Moving On. And it's what they call the Sunny Stripes. The cherry wood, which makes up the arrow right here, and the stripe, is part of what they call the, I think I think Kenworth had a particular name for it, was Sundance, but that was styled after it. The lowboy trailer behind it, it works just like the one out there behind the semi. It actually comes apart here at the neck, where you can put something on it. That truck and trailer took about 85 hours to build.
Wow.
Let's see.
Do you use a certain wood, Robert? Anything in particular on your models or different woods?
I use different woods. In other words, like this trailer has cherry and oak, hard maple for the wheels. The truck has walnut for the frame, hard maple for the wheels, pine for the white part of it,
Right.
cherry.
I like all the detail. I mean, they've really got detail
The
on them too.
steps are oak. Let's see here. We'll just take it apart. This way people can get a little bit of a
Oh,
look at the front of it.
Yeah.
Now, something that I like to do on mine, and it's just something that, like I said, just something that I've come up with, is if you look inside, you
Oh,
can see it's got the seats, just like the
Yes,
real truck,
yes.
steering wheel.
yes.
It's also got 2 gear shifts.
It's got the gear shifts. Yes.
2. Most trucks
Two.
only have 1. The new stuff anymore is an automatic transmission.
I see.
You know, just something that, it's just one of my little, things that I like to do. You look underneath of it, there's a drive
I want
line.
to show that over that
Okay.
way.
You look underneath of it, there's a drive line, air tanks, fuel tank, filters,
Yeah.
engine block, the rear ends. Let's see what else.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Air cleaners,
Yep. The details
stacks.
are all there.
cab lights, air horns, mirrors, turn signals. You look at the back of it. Flip it around
I
here
can
and
hold
lose it.
something for you.
The back of it, there's a light bar, along with the fenders.
Very good. Very good. Robert, have you seen your work change at all from when you first began, like your first projects to now? Because, I mean, now you're talking about 11 years ago that you first started. I think you said 2004.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Change as in
I
what
mean, like
what I do,
I
or
suppose
the quality.
even the quality. I mean, that would
There's-
be
Well, yes, a little bit. The quality's gotten better. Just the detail. This here's one of the earlier trucks that I built, and the wheels, they're just plain wood. It doesn't have the detail underneath of it. Let's see. There's another one of the first built. They don't have the detail underneath, whereas the newer ones do.
right.
The if you want to call it a paint scheme, that one there just had a plain stripe. One of the very first ones I built had absolutely no paint scheme. It was just the same kind of
Right.
wood throughout. I'm getting a little bit more wilder on the paint schemes, adding sleeper boxes. That's what this is here, is a sleeper.
Awesome. That's really interesting, and the different styles. I really like the different styles.
This one here is modeled after a Kenworth cab over from the late 70s, early 80s. It's got cedar and pine, along with oak for the steps, maple for the bumper. The scale on them is approximately 1/16.
That means nothing to me, but
Okay.
I'm sure it means something to someone. but
Okay,
but they are to scale.
Yes, they are to
That
scale.
okay.
In
I
other words-
understand that.
In other words, if you had 16 of these, lined up end to end.
Right.
It would be about the same length as the one sitting outside.
I see.
Right. In other words, this trailer here,
Okay.
this
I got
trailer
it.
would be about 3 feet long, whereas a real trailer would be 48 feet long.
I got it now. Now I understand it. I have my math lesson of the day too. Well, to do something like this, I mean, you can whittle something, but I mean, you
Right.
have to be a mathematician with it. I mean, you
Right, yeah.
seriously,
You have to be able to read a ruler and be able to figure.
absolutely.
Of course, I can't count, but
You had sent me a note about some of these, so you're going to have to expand. It says Life did a small article on my trucks. Is
It
that
was-
the magazine?
it was CDL Life.
CDL Life. Okay. I
right.
thought it was Life magazine. I was going to say, wow.
Nope, not that popular yet. Yeah, it was CDL Life. They did a article on the internet as Facebook, and they showed some pictures of my trucks. They'd heard about me, and so they were interested in an article. So I gave them a little bit of the history of them.
That's great.
Showed pictures of my old International truck that I've got out in the shop.
Let's talk about that. That was my next, that beautiful, I love it, red truck out there in the
You're
shop.
not the only one that likes that.
Oh, tell us about it. It's gorgeous.
It's a 1949 International KB5. It's basically a 1.5-ton truck. It's flatbed. I bought it in 2009, and my youngest nephew, when he saw it first, he said, "That's my truck." So when you look at the doors on the driver's side, of course it has Clark Farms, has my name up right below the window. On the passenger side, it has Kane's name right below the window. So, of course, my sister, she thinks there's more to it than that, but that's it. Anyway,
So, and what do you use that truck for? Because it has to do more than just sit in that garage.
oh
I know.
yes, it does more than sit in that garage. It's actually, there's been a politician that campaigned off of it. I don't know if that won him or well, no, it didn't win him the election, but I don't know if it lost him the
It
election.
sure made him look good,
It
though.
made him look good going in parades. It's well, right up there's a picture of the Marceline cheerleaders in
Oh,
2011,
that's cute.
I think.
Yeah.
That picture, they auctioned it off for their fundraiser to go to Florida, and I wound up getting the picture, as you see.
Yeah, that's nice.
All the girls that signed it, one of my neighbors was one of the cheerleaders. They wanted something different for the background, so they called me up. And,
Fun. That's fun.
And they got to use it.
That's great. Well, Robert, how about other projects? Because I know that basically, if something needs to be done wood-wise, you can build it. So tell us about some of your other projects. I know blanket boxes. You can just start listing them and.
Well, blanket boxes, the cabinets here in the office, I built those myself. You will probably never find another set of cabinets like these. Because the wood that's used in them, I got off my own farm. It's honey locust.
I see. So you brought it from your own farm.
Right, brought from my own farm. I had it sawed, and then, of course, it had to air dry a little while. And then I went ahead and built these cabinets. There's a Hoosier cabinet that's in the kitchen that you saw as you walked in.
Right.
I built that. That's made out of the same material. And let's see what else.
You built your out in your shop the benches
the
and
work benches out there, work tables. I built those. The workbench, the top of it is if somebody's ever bowled in Marceline, they might have actually thrown a strike on that tabletop.
It was that's neat.
It's
the lanes.
Yeah, right. It's part of one of the lanes. So
I have
a little
to
bit of recycling.
I have to tell you because I know about that lane wood because when Macon Bowling, one of the first ones, they got new lanes, and my dad purchased some of that wood, and we built some horse stalls with them. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Strong
yeah,
stuff.
Yes. And it was one of the last pieces that they had for sale, and I jumped at a chance to buy it.
That's great.
There's my workbench top.
And I also understand and have been looking at some really pretty quilt racks.
Yes.
So-
The quilt that's hanging up right there, my sister made it for me. All I wanted was a pair of curtains, but she wound up had enough material, made the quilt for me.
Uh-huh.
The quilt rack I built myself. That's made out of cherry. And then my fiance also has 3 quilt racks in the bedroom. There's 2 more that a customer has asked for, sitting right there.
Awesome. Nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Those are really nice. The other thing that I really like about what you do is that there's many organizations that benefit.
Yes, there
You
is.
have donated many, many items to different organizations.
Just about every year, one of my favorite ones, because it does go to a good cause. Actually, there's 2 of them that go to really good causes. Macon County Cattlemen's Association. You probably
Yes.
heard of that.
Yes, I've heard of them.
I don't know if you know any of them that run that, but
And I did know that you did donate, so that was.
I thought you did.
And
I
that's
thought
a
you had an
great
inside
cause.
scoop. Yes, that is a very good cause. It's a very worthwhile charity. Just about every year, I've tried to donate a blanket box to them. Another organization, they raffle. Last year, they raffled one of my trucks for a benefit down there, and that was at Oak Grove, Missouri, the Oak Grove Truckers Jamboree. And it was a very worthwhile
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
worthwhile cause.
Is there any tools, equipment, anything out in your shop that you're just extra proud of or want to point out while we're looking around your shop here?
Probably be the workbench. It's probably one I'm most proud of.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
So what are you working on here?
this will be another truck that I'm building. And that would be the paint scheme, if you want to call it that, or what the truck will look like. Of course, I also build, all my extra storage that's out there. I've built that myself, kind of my own design.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Something to keep
Robert, if someone is watching this program, one of the things that we really like to incorporate into this, because this is a senior moment, and you are a very young senior. I don't know if we would actually consider you a senior, but there might be someone who is retired now who I think that it is just so encouraging that this wasn't something that you started when you were 13 years old as far as really making these different
Right.
things. You had learned a few of the skills, but you just kind of tucked those away, and then all of a sudden you brought them out.
Right.
And so, how would you encourage someone watching this program? What encouragement could you give them?
Well, first thing I would say is, if they're interested, even slightly, come by and give me a visit, see what I've done in person. If they've got any questions about tools, I'll try to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to get an answer. There's just, there's several different ways. I'm not the only woodworker in the bunch, but
Right.
Facebook is another good tool.
There's so many
groups.
resources
Right.
out
There's
there.
a lot of resources if a person wanted to. I've got several books on how to build stuff, and every once in a while I'll actually read one.
Well, and I think just like you took the first step and you took the step. You went and bought some tools. You just said, I'm going to do this.
The first step really wasn't buying the tools, wasn't even looking at the tools. The first step, admitting I was bored.
That's true. And in retirement, a lot of times we'll see this,
Right.
where someone is looking forward to retirement. They close the door on their last day and,
And
you know,
6 months later, they're
there's-
going nuts.
Yes. And then they go back working, actually.
Then they've gotten all the little piddle projects done around the
Right,
house. You know, gotten the leaves raked for the 15th time.
And there's nothing wrong with going back to work either.
Right, there's
I don't,
nothing wrong with
because
that.
there's
Right.
there
Right.
are a lot of people that do that. But to have a hobby that you can really enjoy as well
Right.
as that part-time job.
You know, and like I've said on some of these blanket boxes, they'll put a smile on the lady's face.
That is right. That is, and the quilt
And the quilt rack.
Yes, I know
Yes.
that for a
They
fact.
will put a smile on the lady's face.
Robert, what about purchasing something from you? If someone wanted to commission you to build something for them, I know you've done that. I just happen to have seen a couple of the different things that people have said, this is what we want. How do they get in touch with you, first of all?
The best way to get a hold of me would be give me a call. My phone number is 660-346-1436. Another way to get a hold of me is on Facebook.
And are you just Robert Clark?
Just Robert
Clarke.
Right.
That is right. Okay.
You
Wo-
found that out.
Woodworking extraordinaire, and they can get in touch with you there. That's great. How about if they have, let's just say, a real specific, if they've got a truck, or something that they just really want you to model it after, do you try to do that?
We'll have to talk about it,
Yeah.
and see
See what
just
it
what
is.
they're wanting. I've had some people come up with some ideas, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, no. No.
So you know your limitations.
I do know my limitations. You have to know
That-
your limitations on some of this stuff. There's just some things they want done that could not be done safely.
Yes, right.
You know, and if I can't do something safely, I lose fingers.
We don't want
I
you
don't
to do
like
that.
losing fingers.
We don't want you to do that. Well, we thank you so much. Was there
Thank you.
anything else, Robert, that I think we covered most everything we were looking at? And
Right.
If there's anything else you want to throw out there, this is the time.
I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Well, we thank you. We thank everyone for joining us.
Thank
and we will see you the next time we have a senior moment.